Welcome to Super Sorry, the podcast where we talk about superheroes and super apologies. Today, we're going to do something a little different. Since we've made it through the first two phases of the MCU, we thought it would be a good idea to pause with some reflections on all the missed apologies and damage that have occurred so far. Not only as a catch-up, but also as a reminder of the world the Avengers now live in.
Yeah, the next film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Captain America: Civil War. For this movie, you want to have a good level of knowledge of what has come before in the MCU, so you can fully understand what's coming next. And since we're trying to give you some context for the next upcoming episode, there will be some macro level spoilers ahead.
Okay, so a big part of the Civil War, Captain America Civil War, and the MCU movies that follow it is the introduction of the Sokovia Accords. The Sokovia Accords are essentially legal guardrails created for the Avengers by the United Nations. And at this point, after the Ant-Man movie, the Avengers are a non-government organization going around the world trying to be peacekeepers.
And since people seem to like how our most recent episode featuring a response to our Ant-Man breakdown was able to help educate us all on Ant-Man's Luis being a one-punch knockout king, we decided to reach out to that letter writer to see if they could help us share the information you need to know about the Sokovia Accords. So once again, what you're about to hear is less of a letter and more of a narrative event.
It starts out. Dear Super Sorry people, thanks for reaching out about the Sokovia Accords. I was hoping that after your last episode, you would be interested in another collab. Just shocked it was so soon. But yes, happy to help everyone out. I can explain the Sokovia Accords. So, check it out.
There's this one guy, Dave, right? And he works in government. Not the top government, but like middle top, where you have a badge, but also have to wait in line for coffee. And he's talking to this other guy, and this other guy works near the Avengers. Not with them, but he's like 2 hallways down, you know, that kind of proximity.
Anyway, these guys are talking after all the Sokovia stuff went down with Ultron. City goes up, city comes down. Everyone's like, hey, that seems important. And one guy goes, we got to do something about these superhero people. And the other guy's like, yeah, because they keep saving the world, but like destroying it.
Exactly. So now you got all the governments around the world going, hey, what if we had some control over this stuff? Which, by the way, is how laws happen. Nobody wants them, but then something explodes, and now we got the Sokovia Accords. It seems simple. It's like, hey, Avengers, maybe just don't go wherever you want and punch wherever you want without calling first.
Reasonable, but also not very simple. Like telling your boss before you leave early, except your boss is the world. So now, after aliens, infiltrated agencies, robot disasters, floating cities, and collateral damage, the governments of the world finally go, okay, enough. We need rules.
So now the Accords aren't just rules, they're a test. Like, who do you trust more, the system or yourself when things go sideways? And the thing is, on paper, the Accords are to keep superheroes accountable.
In practice, it's a very complicated argument about trust, responsibility, and who gets to decide what doing the right thing means. Anyway, that's how I heard it. Hope this helps. Signed, a guy who knows a guy.
All right. Thank you, a guy who knows a guy. And hopefully that was a little helpful to us all.
One thing I'm thinking about that I think may need just a little extra context is that the Accords aren't just about like one bad thing or one bad event. This is about years of people watching things happen and going, we don't understand this, we don't control this, and we see people and places getting hurt.
Yeah, that's true. The combination, that scares people. And when people get scared, they look for rules.
I think at a high level, the Accords make sense. It's like, let's not have unsupervised global events or incidents. And we've had a ton of those leading up to this moment. There's been alien invasions in New York, giant robots destroying towns in New Mexico. We've got helicarriers crashed into the Potomac River, and Ultron dropping a floating city out of the sky in Sokovia. And that's just to name a few.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue with that. But in reality, you're asking the Avengers who act in seconds, to wait for permission. That, to me, it seems like help might come too late.
Yeah, I mean, like at work, if you see a problem, you can fix it right away, or you can check in with your manager first.
Act fast or follow the system. Both have risks.
If you act too fast, you might make things worse. But if you wait too long, the moment might pass.
And I think that's kind of basically the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, it's not just about superheroes. It's about who gets to make decisions and how much trust you put in the system versus the individual, which turns out is complicated.
Also, I think maybe Dave deserves better.
What, Dave?
Guy mentioned in the letter.
Right. I suppose Dave did not sign up for this.
Yeah, probably no one in the MCU signed up for a normal job.
I suppose that's the real takeaway.
That, and eventually we all might understand what's up with the Sokovia Accords.
Anyways, we hope this helps as we get into Captain America Civil War in our next episode. And until then, we are super sorry.
Super Sorry is written and hosted by Amber and Todd. Produced by A Super Sorry LLC. Music by Jam Studio. Your support helps us keep asking the hard questions and saying the hard apologies. Thanks for tuning in and sharing with friends. Super Sorry is not affiliated with Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Studios, the Walt Disney Company, or Disney+. As of this recording, all Marvel characters mentioned in the podcast are the property of the Walt Disney Company.